good to see an original character in Bremen return. And I felt like this episode was using elements from Sunprobe and Ricochet. Because those that remember, Sunprobe was the title of the vehicle that was going to the sun to collect solar flares from the sun to bring it back to Earth. But it ended up being on a collision course which involved Thunderbird 3 having to divert the ship away, which then involved a very fatal collision course for them, which involved Thunderbird 2 being used on Earth to direct them away via transport beam. That's getting into Star Trek, although Thunderbirds in Star Trek, that'd be interesting. Make it so. Okay, folks, that'll be your challenge for this week. The International Rescue cast as you know, members of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I can see Jeff Tracy being Picard. Boys, make it so. Okay. On a serious note, I felt like this episode was using elements from Sunprobe and Ricochet. I say Ricochet because of the fact that the ship was on a collision course for Earth and they had to direct it away from civilian populations. And elements from Sunprobe because Bremen's there, an original character that was used by Brains in the original series to help set the right code for the beam to fire Thunderbird 3's retros from Earth. And the Sunprobe element, because like I say, Bremen and Nasher and Finn, that are names of the Solar that were looking to collect solar flare data from the sun and bring it back to Earth to study. And in essence, they're doing somewhat the same here by going out of of our own solar system to study what is out there and then bring it back to Earth. So yeah, those were elements used from Sunprobe and Ricochet. The ending did leave a lot to question, as Bremen was still active and even the Hood was able to pick up his SOS signal, which has to ask this: could he be back? Could the patriarch of the Tracy family and International Rescue at long last be back? We're going to find out where this leads. So for writing, spot on, as always. Compared to last week, I have no faults with the voice acting this week. The regulars just nail it in spades, as they often do. And I felt like the guest voice actors were on point this week because, you know, I'm not going to get too much onto a tangent of the Chaos Crew because I did that last week, but the voice direction really need to do better directing with regards to Amy Edwards and Craig Steen, because I'm sorry. You know, it's one thing to be over-exaggerated, but last week was just too much. But this week, I have no issues with that. Everybody was grade A. As I've said time before with this series, one of the key areas that it excels in is whenever they do the animation for underwater and space rescue missions, and this week was no exception with the space travel mission and to when the spaceship crashed into the ocean off the West African coast. So yeah, I've got nothing but good things to say about this week. And I like the animation used for the space dust. You know, that was something, but this is what Weta Workshop and Milk VFX excel in. So yeah, guys, you earned your paycheck and then some this week. Only special notes to highlight this week, as I mentioned in the writing, is that there were elements used from Sunprobe and Ricochet. That's it. It's been a long time since there's been a two-parter for Thunderbirds or Go, and the way the ending was left this week does beg to question a lot. As I said in the writing, could he be back? We'll find out next week. And overall, great episode. It didn't feel like 22 minutes this week. It actually just felt like it went by in a flash. Which I suppose for the purpose of keeping one's attention, that's actually a good thing, because to my understanding, the human attention span is no more than 7 seconds. If you can't get them in 7 seconds, you've lost them. And speaking of attention, I would like to direct your attention to this image that I'm about to put over the screen now. I'd said about 2 weeks ago when I did the review for Deep Water, wherein I inadvertently stumbled into a Friends reference of what it would be like if, you know, the cast of International Rescue did a Friends-themed picture with them sitting around the couch and just acting all goofy. Well, folks, this picture was the handiwork of one Carolyn Percy, which you can find her Twitter handle in the description below. Folks, seriously, check out this girl's artwork. She is an amazing artist, and Carolyn, I cannot thank you enough for the work you did with that. I know some people have pointed out saying, you know, it's chibi Thunderbirds, but I think that's part of the charm. You know, it adds to the charming, comical effect of it. So, folks, if you ever need some decent fan art to be done, she is your go-to. Carolyn, once again, thank you enough. That was, once again, Carolyn, I cannot thank you enough. That was FAB. Until next week, folks, good night from the night, and Thunderbirds are go.